Greetings. Welcome to this channel, Temperance Alchemy 13. My name is Patience. I've been guided to come on today and record a reading in regards to shadow work. There's been a lot of revelations, a lot of information downloaded, a lot of insights collected. And with today being the 11/11 portal, I feel that a bit of shadow work is in order, because what we hide in our shadows can cause some of the biggest blockages in our lives. These are aspects of ourselves that we deem bad or society deems bad, and that can hinder manifestations. I went to the Eaton Canyon in Pasadena yesterday to view the waterfall, and while I was there, I was pondering a video I had watched from another YouTuber, and she was saying that when we go externally, we're creating false gods. So crystals, tarot, basically even asking someone other than yourself for advice is going externally. And while that is true, yes, I think it misses the point, or I feel that it misses the point of this experience, in that we are all one, we are all connected, and yes, there is only us. There is only Source. Aside from Source, what else is there? And I've seen it myself during scrying moments. The complete and utter blackness of nothingness. And I had seen it many times before I had come to the awakening that I have come to as of late. And it would frighten me. I used to be terrified of death. As a child even, I was afraid of the blue open sky, because I would have dreams where I would jump on a diving board and it would shoot me up into space, and I could see everything below me on the earth all around, and I would go back down trying to land into the pool, but I would end up landing back on the diving board and being shot up further each time, until finally I would fall down to the ground and wake up with a jolt, falling out of bed almost sometimes, even falling out of bed. And so I'd always be extremely happy when there were clouds, because I felt that the clouds were protective. They were a buffer. They were a cloaking layer that I felt safe in. So yeah, I know a lot about clouds if you'd like to ask, but we're not talking about that right now. But going back to utter nothingness, not to be nihilistic about everything, because I do care. I do love and I do enjoy all aspects of this life, the good and the bad, the light and the dark. None can exist without the other. But the YouTuber, she also said that what we focus on, what we give meaning to, that is what we're, that is, she also said we're not on a journey, which I think is another great insight. This is all a spectacle. This is all a collection of novellas. If you've never seen a novella, they're sort of like soap operas, but they end. They don't go on forever and ever, interchanging characters. I believe they may bring back some storylines for other novellas, but for the most part, it's self-contained. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Another reader that I watch on YouTube, he said he doesn't believe in past lives. Now, I'm not here to judge anyone or change anyone's mind. I'm only speaking from my experience, from my perspective. And I do believe in reincarnation. I do believe in past lives. I have held my own grandmother in my arms when she reincarnated into my cousin. Now, a lot of my family members don't believe me, or if they do, they're not going to say it. But perhaps those who don't believe in certain things just haven't had that experience yet. And even as intuitive as they might be, no one's perfect, no one's right, no one's wrong. More so, we can focus on what is true and what is false. Because right and wrong only perpetuates competition. There has to be a winner, there has to be a loser. So for me, I guess you can call it an objective standpoint with some subjectiveness, because I am an empath and emotions are something that I'm mastering currently. There's the alchemy. So what I'm trying to say is the downloads that I received while at the waterfall, I'll just read them from my communication journal here. So I also wanted to touch on the new earth, which in the spiritual realm, spirituality section of us, is regarded as a frequency, a mindset, a vibration. In the Bible, it's about a show coming back for the judgment apocalypse, right? And both can be true. Both can be one and the same. Because we're all one, because we are connected, and there's no right way or wrong way, every way is the right way. Every way is the wrong way. The key here is discernment, resonating. What will you take with you, and what will you leave behind? So, as I was sitting by the waterfall, I heard the new earth is within all of us. Watching the water rippling, the ripple effects created when each of us taps into source energy and source creation make progress for others as our waves wash over them and erode the hardness and bitterness of their hearts. Everyone talks about the mind being source of our creation, or subconscious, I should say. But the mind cannot operate where the heart can. Both must be in harmonious communication and symbiosis to create the internal realities that project externally. This is all a hologram. This is all a simulation. This is all an illusion. When lower chakras are balanced and aligned, they push the heart upward, activating and aligning the throat chakra to affect the upper, third eye, crown, and soul star chakras into communication. Going externally for confirmation or validation is to support others on their stepping stones. How we react and take on what they say is our own responsibility. No one can be a false god unless they are only serving themselves above all. But that in itself is the divisiveness that Source has created. Above everything, discernment is key, reiteration. Remaining non-judgmental while upholding desired boundaries creates the unconditional love to raise the frequencies. Remember the past to not repeat cycles, but no sense dwelling there. Remember the past for good memories, but no sense creating nostalgia. Everything we create is already ours, for we have it within ourselves. What's in our hearts and minds already exists. When we are having fun, that also raises frequencies to the new earth. The old earth is about suffering, attachment, strife, control over others, fear, anxiety, lack, subjugation, and gatekeeping over others. Too long, these aspects have been allowed to weigh heavy on consciousness. Violence, hate, covetry, bigotry, and separation are going out the window. Aquarius propels us into self and accountability, going inward to bring out the best parts of ourselves to activate others to reflect. That is how we bring about the new earth frequency, timeline, reality. Praise Osho. Another thing I wanted to touch on, a download I received earlier today while on a dinner date with myself. The best way to release unrequited love is to cultivate love for self. There's no one else but ourselves. We aren't even here really, so none of that shit matters. Even becoming detached from self will bring about the highest love because it does away with negative self-talk and self-imposed limitations and limiting beliefs. Love for self is love for others and vice versa. The point to drive home is discernment, reiteration. Have fun, not at the expense of others, but have fun. There's nothing quite like fun. So for me, going to the cards, having crystals around, this is all fun. Crystals have been used by shamans, healers, pretty much everybody who wants to be connected to Mother Earth for centuries, for millennia. It's nothing new. New Age is baloney. Aleister Crowley did not create any of this stuff. He merely popularized it for general society, I guess you want to say, even though it's still, looked down the nose upon, even to this day. Tarot started out as games in Italy and moved into the south of France. And it wasn't up until the mid 1800s that a lot of the archetypes and symbolism that we have in modern tarot, or current day tarot, I should say, it didn't exist. Alpheus Levy, he made these correlations, he corresponded the cards for us, and then in the early 1900s we received the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. So while tarot generally is looked upon as prediction, as fortune telling, for me, it has a lot to do with reflection. For me, it has a lot to do with shadow work. For me, it has a lot to do with having fun. I love telling stories. I love looking at pictures and inferring, using my imagination, what can be going on in the imagery. And that's what tarot is. It's all for interpretation. It's all what the reader is feeling at the time of the reading. And that's why we're advised to take every reading as an aspect of ourselves. When I first started reading for, collective, YouTube, other people, myself, really started reading, I had a lot of self-doubt. I had a lot of limiting beliefs because, I didn't take any courses. I have like one book that I barely read. And mostly I just started inferring from other people's readings that I was watching on YouTube. And then I thought to myself, yes, I know that this is all up to my own interpretation, but I like hearing other people's opinions, other people's interpretations, other people's inferences. It's nice to have a different perspective. Because we're all one, because we're all connected, going to others for advice, we're still going to ourselves. We're still going to source. Do you want to live in a bubble? Do you want to live in an echo chamber of your own creation? You can. Why not? If that's what you choose, that's what makes you happy, you're not hurting anyone, go for it. I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to tell you that you're wrong. So, with the 1111 portal, I would love to do some shadow work with all of you. And the fact that we are having the last supermoon of this year, I believe, on Friday, on the 15th, it's going to bring a lot of shadows into the light. It's going to integrate the light with the dark, which is what we're all striving for. That is how we become whole and complete beings. integrating the ego, integrating the shadow to healthy levels. There's lots of things that can be argued about being bad, but we must remember, what we judge others for, we judge ourselves. So I have my saber here to protect us from any negative energies. I'm just going to cut the air over the deck. Light some incense here. Nag Champa Agarbati, one of the greatest. I have prayed over the cards, but I have not shuffled them. And I'm going to let them fall out as they may. Bear with me. If you'd like to watch on 2x speed, go right ahead. I have a spread particularly that focuses on shadow work. It's a 6-card spread. So let's get into it. Thank you, Spirit. Did not fall upright. I should say face up. Here we go. Got 3 here. I'm going to take them. Got this one, this one, this one. 2 more, please, Spirit. That's too many. And I am, if you can hear the background, playing a shadow work frequency. You can find the video on YouTube if you like. There's not many. More card, Spirit, for our spread, please. Thank you. One more, please. That's too many, Spirit. And I am using the Murder of Crows Tarot because the imagery is full of shadows and crows help to bring about change. It's one thing to remember, well, 2 things to remember. There is no such thing as absolute, and the only constant is change. card for the collective, please, Spirit. Okay, I'm gonna take it. So the first card we have here is the card that represents the shadow. And we have received the Fool in reverse. The Fool talks about new beginnings, letting your heart lead you, taking a leap of faith. In reverse, there's too much leading with the head and not leading with the heart, or should I say, having them lead in tandem. As I said before, what is in our minds and in our hearts was placed there by Source. If what is in our minds and what is in our hearts will cause harm to others, will create trauma for others, and not to mince words, so pedophilia, rape, violence, bigotry, hatred, if those are placed into your heart and mind, know that they were placed there because those are the greatest challenges to overcome. Those lower energies will propel you to the highest heights. When you overcome and transmute them into the highest good. For those in the collective that don't have those lower energies in their hearts and minds, and what lies in the shadow was placed there by others, deeming it socially unacceptable. So spirituality like tarot and crystals, and even being transgender, even loving someone of the same gender or sex or whatever, LGBTQ. I identify as pansexual. I'm also non-binary. While those are labels, I don't want to identify with conventional labels, because those do perpetuate the most limiting beliefs, the most self-imposed blockages. When we identify with being this or being that, I'm just a spiritual being having a human experience in this meat suit, here to have fun with all of you. You know, maybe you want to date a witch and everyone around you is saying, "Are you crazy?" But if that witch has the highest good as his or her intention, as their intention, then what does it matter? It's only going to create more static. The more we suppress in our shadows creates the most static in our conscious lives, in our conscious realities. The next card asks, why should we learn to love our shadow? And we have received the 8 of Cups in reverse. Let me not burn myself on the incense there. It's okay, I'm a firebender, don't worry about me. So the 8 of Cups in reverse, I'm going to refer to the book for this one, just because, thank you, Spirit. I'm not trusting my intuition right now, says Spirit. But I do like to honor the authors. So I have forgotten, thank you, Spirit, that in this deck there are no reversals. But, you know, we could take reversals as an energy not being unlocked or not yet being realized. So the 8 of Cups is a chance to pivot, a time to take a new direction. And I feel that that really resonates with the first card about the Fool, because the Fool is going in a new direction, is going on their merry way. It is source before incarnation, some people believe or feel. And with the 8 of Cups in reverse being that many of us in the collective are still suppressing the aspects of our shadow that will propel us into new directions, that will propel us into our desired timelines. So the third card that we have received is the 2 of Cups. And in this position, it's asking, what lesson is hiding in the shadow? 2 of Cups talks about reunion. It also can signify marriage. It also is about just union in general, camaraderie, relationships. And this is the lesson that is hiding in the shadow. So these cards leading up to this are really telling a great story here, because the Eight of Cups, the energy is not released, and the Two of Cups here is saying that, you know, when we take that leap of faith to pivot to a desired timeline, to pivot to a new timeline, we're gonna come into all these beautiful, rewarding, fulfilling relationships. Not necessarily marriage entirely. Some of us may experience that, and congratulations. You know, may your union be blessed and harmonious forevermore. But just in general, stepping into our desired timelines by honoring what is in our shadows is going to bring us into union with those who are also doing the same. And we're going to have even more rewarding experiences. So the fourth card that we have, I do believe, is the Hermit. Let me verify. My apologies. Yes, and I am correct. Don't doubt yourselves. And in this position, this is how we can learn, or how we can start to love our shadow. So the Hermit talks about solitude, going in within self. And that greatly touches upon what the YouTuber was talking about, you know, going into self for validation, for confirmation. And while she does speak truth, you know, different things can apply at different moments, in different aspects, for different people. So starting to love the shadow, go within self, journal, meditate. Each night you can talk to your we can talk to our shadows and say, I apologize if at any point today I've ignored you or pushed you aside. And we can ask our shadows for forgiveness. In the fifth position, the card is asking, why do we avoid our shadow? And we have received the Tower. It did come up in the reverse, but I'm gonna take it in the upright, because the Tower is moments that are created by Source that give no choice but to change, no choice but to do the thing. And with the Tower here being in reverse, it could be, even though I'm taking it in the upright, in the reversal, we're still avoiding the aspects of ourselves that will create the change, that will affect what is meant for us. When the Tower is struck in the original, in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, it's shown as crumbling, falling apart, and two figures falling out. And something that Marilyn Monroe once said was, "Good things must fall apart so that great things may be built back up." So since we keep avoiding aspects of our shadow that will affect the change that we so desire, I feel that this card is very astute in this position. It's very accurate. In the last position, this card asks, shadow work advice from our guides. And we have received the King of Cups. For me, the King of Cups is kind of a bit of a snob. While the King of Cups supports the arts, supports law, supports science, he has sort of an untouchable air. And granted, yeah, he's king. In this position, as advice from our guides, I feel as though they're asking us to take control of our emotions, to integrate the heart and the mind, to master the highs and lows of life. Coming to the point of neutrality can greatly dissipate suffering. Attachment is the source of suffering. Now, if you have kids, as I do, when you tell someone you're detached from your kids, you can be seen as cold, as heartless, unfeeling. But I believe that I feel that there are many different levels of detachment. When you hold on to an outcome so tightly, you tend to push it away or bring about the wrong outcome. If we're constantly worrying that something bad's gonna happen, if we're constantly worrying that there's always something out there to get us, it's gonna happen. That's the manifestations. What we focus on is what we call into our lives and for lives of others around us. if I was constantly worried about my son walking to the nearby convenience store late at night, something happening to him, something very may well happen to him. But, you know, I ask Spirit to protect him and walk with him and know that he has his own level of discernment to self-preserve, to recognize what situation he should walk into and what situation he shouldn't walk into. If I've done my job as a parent, then I should have the confidence that he will thrive, that he knows how to take care of himself. Just because we detach doesn't mean we cannot love. Doesn't mean that we cannot cherish. It's when we start to covet. That's when things want to run away. Get the ick, so to speak. I want to do a final message. I'm feeling called to do a final message. And I'm gonna get the deck. Bringing back the Lemurian, Beyond Lemuria Oracle here. Let me just ring a bell here. Thank you, Spirit. Let's get a final message. Asking the ancestors of Lemuria and Atlantis, what is one message that will aid the collective in integrating the light with the dark? Spirit, guide these cards for the highest good fall. All praise, glory, and the highest speech, and emotion, God, defense of the universe, of all the universe, disciplines of time, of all time. So, thank you. Okay, please, Spirit, final message. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. So the final message our ancestors of Lemuria and Atlantis would like us to know, we actually have two cards here, and I'm going to take both of them. These are so beautiful. We have Internal Explorer and High Heart Chakra. The cards don't lie. They only speak truths of what we already know to be. The Internal Explorer card is so beautiful. Oh my goodness. So in this card, the figure is holding this light, this orb, this star. And she has a lotus above her, or they have a lotus above them. Now the lotus is extremely spiritual and extremely cool because it grows through so much muck and mud and sediment to rise to the surface of the water and bloom into something gorgeous. Like, I want to cry right now, but I'm mastering my emotions for you all. Let's refer to the book here for this message. But I'm really feeling that this ties everything all in together. Going internally, exploring our shadows, and integrating them into the light in order to, growing through the muck, in order to bloom into something spectacular. When we stop looking outside ourselves and surrender to a soft inner focus, we have access to unlimited information and resources. When we stop thinking with the glass ceiling of our intellect, we have access to multidimensional wisdom from the collective consciousness. Have you ever felt in total flow? Perhaps when speaking about something profound that you have total faith in, you have heard your words articulately unfold. At other times, when you have doubt, you must watch your words, and they come out disjointed, only hinting at what you are trying to say. In the artist's journey, she found she was able to paint more skillfully than she imagined when she stopped thinking or tightly controlling her images into being. This was especially so when she was starting out. By getting out of her own way, she could get into a flow that felt like something else was guiding her paintbrush. This is known as flow state and is said to be the optimal state for higher function. When in deep flow state, it can seem as if something else is guiding her. Perhaps it is her higher self. People often ask whether she has a strong concept of what she will paint before she starts. She does have a half-formed idea, but the state she finds herself in when she paints allows the rest of the image to form itself. She doesn't try to control it too much. When she allows herself to really go there and listen to the whispers that guide the journey, it gives more soul to her pieces. These are the creations that people most resonate with, the ones that prompt a mysterious sense of remembering. In the divinatory meaning, we are invited to explore the state of flow. This card is also a reminder that we are an infinitely amazing being who can access collective consciousness, especially when we surrender some control to the greater process or get out of our own way. We have the permission we felt we needed, so go within and explore. Wonderful gifts are awaiting us. And also second part of this final message is the high heart chakra, ecstatic bliss. And this is just tying back to what I was saying about the heart being in symbiosis with the mind. We have two hummingbirds here, the union of heart and mind to create a whole being. for this chakra card, this card taps into the blissful oneness we feel as we drop away our edges and protective containers. This is a place where we feel held and seen enough to flow into oneness, where the eternal part of me meets the eternal part of you. This is the selfless state where our higher selves commune for illuminated perspective on how we share, gift, and lift others in our joyful overflow. To restore, consider life purpose by exploring what allows you to give in to joy. Themes: the ways you can bring joy to yourself and others. In the healing position, we would place this on our thymus gland, behind our sternum, a little above the heart. So, I believe right here. I pray that you felt that healing as well. For a color wash, we can close our eyes and imagine iridescent pink filling the space. Oh, it's so pretty. I'd like to thank you all for joining me here today, or at any moment in the experience that this video comes across your timeline. I really appreciate the energy exchange. It's extremely rewarding and fulfilling to do this with all of you. Hi, Nat. This Nat has just been hanging out in my apartment for the past week. Seems indestructible. It's definitely a message behind that. Although I haven't researched the significance of gnats, I think I'll do that after this. But again, I thank you for coming here, making these memories with me. And I pray that this video will inspire you and activate you to go within, speak with your shadow, and learn the ways to integrate it into the light for a more harmonious and fulfilling experience. And I pray that all your manifestations for the highest good of all come to fruition in this 1111 portal. We have everything now. Everything is in creation. It's already done. The choice is whether or not to step into those timelines. And that choice is yours, is ours. I'm you, you are me, we are we. I love me, and I love you. I love us. So stay soft, stay sweet, and stay pure. And I'll see you in the next one.